And we say it all the time, but when we're learning to defend ourselves, and this is particularly true when we're less mature as individuals, we forget why. Now Alexandrina and I are doing extensive work with high school kids, a lot right now, like every day, 5 hours a day, we're teaching high schools. And it's really hard to convey to them this idea. Because at that point, if you ask a group of high school kids, if you could do anything in this 5-week class or 4-session class, what would you like to do? The last time I asked on last Friday, like 2 requests from 50 kids, where I'd like to learn how to break somebody's arm, and some girl said I'd like to know how to do backflips. And that was after doing an introduction on the importance of self-defense, the reality of violence, how you can, yeah, I want to be able to break somebody's arm. People want to know how to throw people. I want to know how to throw people. You know, can you teach me how to shoot someone? These are the kind of things that kids will say, and that's a legitimate, sensationalized interest for them. And then you have to slowly deconstruct that and bring it back to, well, listen, you know, because I got to get that 16-year-old to the point where if somebody's spitting on them and slapping on them, they're not going to necessarily volunteer for a fight out of ego, and they still have the capacity to define limits and talk their way out of it if they can. And that's hard. The only way we get there is by value. Second thing we need to do, I always say that beyond defining the self, we have to expand the self. So a lot of times we think about the value and why it is we train, but we sort of do it like a mental list. We go, yeah, my family's important. But feeling gratitude for that list, feeling gratitude for all the things we have is super important. Most people, whenever you have a seminar or a class, it is a collection of people moaning and bitching about their injuries. Right? We come in, it's normal, it's part of being of warriorhood. We come in and we go, oh crap, we're nervous about the performance we have ahead of us for the day and for the week. And so what do we do right away? We start to panic, right? Do I still have health care? How are my knees? Are my feet going to hold up? Oh, what about this one? That's the first thing we think about. But it's very important that we also balance that with gratitude for what we have. Just think of the reality, the amount of gratitude I feel for being in the room with you 8 today is enormous. To have friends coming from, we have 8 participants and we have 4 countries represented. It's a bit ridiculous. People coming from around the world getting to train, that no matter how hard our job is, no matter how much debt we have, that we still have the ability. We're not growing up in a war zone in Somalia. We have the ability to save up, to go somewhere, travel, to train. The knowledge is that we're training on the first floor today. We don't have to be in the basement yet, hiding it, right? That's happened throughout history and it's probably going to happen again, right? You know where to find me. That's why we have a basement, right? But this is the reality. We have this ability to train in daylight, across from a police station, freely, yeah, barely editing our material. Yeah, so that's gratitude. So I'm thankful every day that we have that exchange. And throughout this week, when I start to get you really angry, really aggressive, it's not going to be impossible that some of us are going to get into uncomfortable spots. And when you really release a lot of aggression, or you really, honestly, when it comes out, you open the door, but then it rips the door open a little wider, you feel gross after. You feel dirty, you feel guilt, and you have to get back to your gratitude. You realize, why is it that I'm training? I'm thankful that I have this opportunity, and that because I feel that anger, that shame, that guilt, I can correct it and be a better human. Because it's precisely the type of people that we're training to protect ourselves against that don't feel that. And that's the reality. We never want to lose gratitude in the equation and just become these reflexive killing machines. And then the last thing is fear. And today we're going to focus a lot on fear. A lot of us have a fear about releasing the anger. What is it going to look like? What is it going to do? Right? And a lot of us have a fear of what will other people think? Many of us, if you were to make a list, if you ever go back to one of my early books, Path of the Ronin, we have a drill in it called the executioner drill. And I tell you to physically imagine you were going to get killed by the most frightening executioner you could imagine. And if you were honest, and I didn't ask you to share it, what would they look like right away? Would they be tall, short, male, female, muscular? Are they fat? Are they black? Are they white? Are they Latino? Are they wearing a mask? Are they not? Do they have a beard? Do they not? Everything you automatically attach to it is related to a fear. A lot of people have fears of races. They have fears, irrational fears of certain looks, tattoos, haircuts. They fear it. And then as a result in their day-to-day life, they just passively suppress it through discrimination, a little bit of irritation with that type of person, because deep down inside they're insecure and they're frightened of it. Many of us are afraid, we think about if somebody hurt my child or my wife or my mother, I would do X, Y, and Z. But the amount of anger we feel proportionate to that desire to defend, usually right underneath it there is a dire fear of what if I was unable to? What if I went to protect my son, my wife, my mother, my grandfather, and I got the shit kicked out of me? And the last thing I saw as I held the pumps of my blood coming out of my lungs and my heart is my family being raped and killed. It's a terrifying fear. We all have it. And at its lowest level, when you have somebody slapping and spitting on you and pushing you, saying, motherfucker, what are you going to do? And you're face to face in front of your loved ones, you feel even more pressure to defend. Sometimes we say we're afraid of losing it. Sometimes we do lose it and we just engage without fear. But other times we become completely paralyzed by that fear. So what I would like you to do is lay down on your back for a second. Take a breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Again, nothing you visualize will be shared. Of course, if you ever want to talk about it with me or anyone else, you're free to. But all I want you to do is just relax your body, lay on down, focus on your breath. I want you to quickly review just a few of the things that define you. When you are writing the description of you, the profile of you, what kind of things come up? What do you like to do? What do you enjoy? And again, it is completely private. And however few things come up, I just want you to allow yourself to feel gratitude for these things, to be thankful. Promise yourself, and you don't need to worry, you will remember, promise yourself that when you leave this training, the first opportunity you have to be thankful in action towards people or pets or whatever, any being that you love, you will express it. If there is an activity that you can do when you go back to your hotel, back to your house tonight, promise yourself that you will do it with just one more minute of mindfulness. If it's something you can do right here, like breathing or enjoying the body that you have, then just take a minute just to feel thankful for that.